pretty much everything you need to know about taming and using a mech in ARK Survival Evolved. Mechs are one of the few creatures in ARK that are crafted rather than tamed. This means don't go looking for them in the wild because they don't exist. I wish I had known this because I slapped every light post and bench on extinction thinking a transformer was going to pop out. I even dressed up like a Power Ranger villain thinking I was a shoo-in for a horribly choreographed fight scene, but alas my wardrobe and deafening battle screeches weren't enough. So how do you go about acquiring a mech then if they can't be tamed, you might ask? Well, the mech is a craftable mount that is tamed upon deployment. The unassembled mech engram is available at level 91, and additional modules to the mech are unlocked at levels 93, 95, and 97. Unassembled mechs and their modules must be crafted at a tech replicator and require a hefty amount of resources to create. Higher quality blueprints can be acquired from orbital supply drops, with the resource requirements scaling according to the quality of the blueprint. So let's dive into the functionality of the mech to cover some of their basics. Mechs are exactly like centaurs in that they are nothing like centaurs. Mechs have a left mouse button slash ability that does high amounts of damage, a right plus left mouse button energy pistol that does moderate damage, a basic jump ability by pressing the spacebar, a hover ability activated by pressing and holding the spacebar, and a control key special ability that varies depending upon the module that has been equipped. Modules are equipped within the mech's inventory UI, and ammunition for those modules is stored within the mech's inventory. The m.d.s.m is a deployable force field that blocks all incoming enemy projectiles, however does not stop enemies from passing through it. If the shield is retracted, enemies who were within the force field will receive a debuff that greatly increases their damage taken. The m.r.l.m releases a swarm of rockets into the area that automatically targets enemies. This requires rocket pods as ammunition. The m.s.c.m is a long-range cannon that immobilizes the mech while in use. This requires cannon shells as ammunition. Lastly, the m.o.m.i allows 4 mechs to be merged together to create a super mech, also known as a mega mech. This is only allowed to be used within the Alpha King Titan arena. It should be noted that unequipping modules to attach others will decrease their durability. Mechs have 2 unique stats called fuel and heat. Fuel is what the mech uses to carry out all of its functions, excluding basic movement and slashing. Element acts as fuel for mechs, and if the mechs run out of fuel, it will not be able to carry out its abilities until refueled. Heat is generated when the mech carries out abilities. If the mech's heat levels reach maximum, it will become about as effective as whipping Vienna sausages at your enemies. A mech's fuel levels will slowly drain over time, even while unpiloted. This can result in the mech's fuel levels reaching 0%, which will cause it to slowly lose health and essentially starve to death, despite not being a living creature. You can combat this by ensuring it has element as fuel, or by storing it inside of a cryopod for safekeeping. Mechs feature the passive ability of dealing 9 times damage with its sword and 3 times damage with its pistol to tame titans. Mechs cannot level up and do not wear any saddles of any kind, although the m.d.s.m does give a 20 armor when equipped. Mechs do not take any fall damage, even when at maximum heat. So what are the mech's main uses, outside of starring in one of the most memorable games from my childhood? Do you guys remember Armored Core? That game was f***ing awesome. Due to the transitive property, these things are f***ing awesome. With that in mind, mechs are mainly used in PvP as base defense or as an assault mount. Due to the mech's buff damage against tamed titans, they can be invaluable to have around if an enemy tribe attempts to siege your base. Their heavily modified melee damage can cut through tamed titans very quickly, and their sustainable pistol damage is effective if the enemy's titan is out of reach. If using the mech for assault purposes, their modules can be extremely effective in different situations. Their m.d.s.m is useful for closing the gap in enemy bases while providing cover, however you're unable to generate the shield within a certain radius of enemy turrets. Their m.r.l.m is useful for killing enemy players on foot or smaller tames. And finally, the m.s.c.m is incredibly useful for killing tames from a distance or laying siege to their structures. However, the cannon shells can still be shot down by enemy turrets like any other explosive weapon. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to press that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and leave me comments down below because comments are good. Okay.